This is the Flex Network. Flex on everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Flex Network. I'm your host, Flex Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. I'm joined, of course, by Brandon Adam. You can follow him on Twitter at Brandon D. Adam19. And finally, Mike Dickinson at Mike_Dickinson. Gentlemen, boys, the combine results are in. Mike, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. This is normally the time of year where I start to jump in. You guys have drugged me into this kicking and screaming a little bit earlier, so I feel like I'm a little bit better. I'm a little better versed on these guys, and there's a couple guys that we're going to talk about today that popped a little bit with some surprising numbers, and we're going to get them on your radar so you can steal them in the third and fourth rounds of your rookie drafts and win. That's what it's all about, just fucking winning,
stacking up, just stack up talent.
That's right, Brandon, brother. What was your takeaway from the combine? Like first, like initials. Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you disappointed?
No, I'm actually happy with the depth of this class. I think I think the second rounders in this rookie draft there's gonna be some gold found, and I'm excited about it. A couple guys really popped, especially one of Mike's guys that really popped, and I'm excited for that. And I told him I was watching him the whole. I just needed to see it. I just needed to see certain things from Rachaad White, and man. He delivered.
Yeah. Rachaad White delivered. Kenneth Walker delivered. Breece Hall delivered. I was a little bit disappointed that Isaiah Spiller didn't test, but I guess he had an abdominal issue, muscle issue. So he will test on – I know it's right. He will test in 2 weeks at his pro day. But, all in all, I was pretty impressed. From the wide receivers, man, David Bell disappointed me. I had high expectations for him. But, look, I just hope that the NFL teams look at the tape and grade it by the tape. And I think
he might be Jarvis Landry, man. He might be Jarvis Landry.
He could be Jarvis Landry, like a big Jarvis Landry. I think, and I think that's important. Like context matters, right? So when we're diving in, because we go deep, right? We go deep with these players, and we get just so invested on them that if they don't perform well at a pro day or don't perform well at the combine, we're like, that's it. They're off my radar. They're on my do not draft list, right? And I think that's a mistake. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Some very, very smart people that I follow and listen to that are analytically driven. They say that in their production models at wide receiver, all they care about is height and weight. And for the running back, it is height, weight, and speed score. So the question is, well, why go through this rigmarole, right? And the answer is it's important because how they perform at this combine, not just, the actual testing results, but the on-field drills that they do, it's going to influence their draft stock. And we know that draft capital is hugely important in particular positions like the running back position, even the wide receiver position. So with that in mind, Mike, I'm going to throw it to you. Let's talk about the running backs first, okay? Let's really focus on the running backs. First of all, was there a running back that stood out to you? Whether it was one of these top guys that we've been talking about for the last month and a half, or is there a guy that jumped off the page that you had no idea who this player was and like, holy shit, I got to go watch some tape on this guy?
I know I do have one. And there were two actually.
Two. Okay.
We talked about Rachaad White. Brandon will talk about him a little bit more, but the one that really kind of jumped at me that was odd was Pierre Strong. I had no idea who the heck this guy was, where he was coming from. Yeah, exactly. So the first place he popped to me was on PFF's. PFF puts out a list of the top 20 to 25 people, top 20, 25 guys at each position that they think, are gonna translate best out to the NFL. And Pierre Strong came in 10th on that list. Ahead of guys like Brian Robinson, ahead of guys like Devontae Price, ahead of guys like James Cook. And it's based off of their college dominator rating. And then they also factor in their rushing grades, their receiving grades, and their yards per play into there. So, Pierre Strong, senior coming out of South Dakota State, had a 22% career dominator rating, 95.6% career rushing grade. And this is all PFF. He's the highest graded of all the draft eligible backs on the rushing side. Only a 54.4 on the receiving grade. I don't know. I've I've watched a little bit of his tape, and
He's
he
all
makes
right.
some he makes some splash plays in the passing game. I don't know if he's just not a pass catcher. I don't know if he wasn't asked to do that, if that's where that came from. Here's where it really gets me is 3.3 yards per play. That puts him ahead of Breece Hall. That puts him ahead of Kenneth Walker. That puts him in Rachaad White territory. So this guy was somebody I knew absolutely nothing about. And then he posted at the combine. He posted a 4.37 with a 36-inch vertical, which put him at a 75 and 75th percentile as far as burst score. So he's somebody to keep an eye on. He's going to be landing dependent. We were texting before. He'll probably end up in San Francisco and be, just another thorn in the sides of fantasy managers. He could end up being a much better NFL running back than fantasy back, but he's somebody that, as we go through this process, we'll try and turn you on to guys that can mine you first round talent at a 4th round price. Like if you were on Elijah Mitchell last year, you took him in the 3rd or 4th round, he crushed it for you. He delivered absolute home run. So I'm not saying you're going to find an Elijah Mitchell every year, but like you start to look at why these guys popped, what led to them being successful, and then try and replicate it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Pierre Strong is that he was on any of our radar. I was looking back, he wasn't even part of like the player profiler database that I ran 2 months ago. Like he wasn't on there. He's in there now. But one thing is he is old. He's 23.3 years old.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yep, he's older.
You look at a 2 to 3 year window, right? Like for these running backs, if he can get on the field, and you're right. I mean, a player like this is going to be so landing spot dependent, but he is 5'11", 207 pounds, right? So he meets that size speed requisite. He talked about his receiving prowess. He did have 22 receptions last year and 21 in 2020. So he can catch the ball. It's really a matter of, is he able to perform? Is he athletic? We know he's athletic, right? What's a major positive result for, like, what do we care about? It's speed score, right? And like you said, his speed score is up there. It's 120 or 113.5. So
Jesus.
Yeah, it's the man is a beast, and so
he's a
No, go ahead.
I'm just like he really is. I was watching a little bit of his stuff just before we got on, and he was running through some wide open holes. Though small school, like he really was, and like that you guys got to like he did lead the country in rushing. I get that, but like he was running through some big ass holes. It wasn't like he was like stopping and starting against Ohio State defensive linemen or anything. So like that's like the things people gotta kind of calm down with.
Filter out.
Yeah, the dude is an athlete. Like he's an athlete. He's a beast. Like he got overlooked because he's in a small school. But I'm definitely gonna see where he lands because of Mike. Like Mike is turned me on to him. He might be a 3rd round pick for me, and I might cash in later on him. You never know.
He's probably going to be one of those guys that has to make an NFL squad as a special teamer. And if he has the desire, if he pushes hard in camp and he makes a squad as a special teamer, we always said this, you're a shoelace away from seeing the field, young man. So, somebody goes down with a hamstring, somebody has a shoulder pad issue, like he's in there and hopefully he gets a shot and hopefully he delivers. If he doesn't, you wasted a 4th round rookie pick on him.
Who cares?
Big F and those guys he's a taxi squad guy.
Yep. He is.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about running backs for a bit here. So I do want to give the people a little bit of context. When we're talking about speed scores, like what's good, what's bad, okay? So when we're talking about speed scores, a speed score of 100 is the 67th percentile athlete, okay? A speed score of 95 is 46%. So when we're talking about this, 95, 96, 97, that's kind of the range, like your minimum threshold. When you look at a speed score of 90, it's a 28th percentile. And then on the upper end, a speed score of 116, like our boy, Breece Hall, is a 98th percentile. So when we talk about Pierre and his speed score of 113, it's respectable, right? Like it's in the 90th plus percentile.
It's more than respectable. Yeah, it's well done. Yeah.
He's going on clip. Okay. So we got Mike Yeager and Clipboard Jesus in the chat right now. Boys, can you both type in who is your biggest riser or faller or both at following the combine? Guys that disappointed you the most or guys that you were the most impressed by? So throw it in there, then we'll chat about it. But let's not bury the lead, boys. Okay.
Yes. Let's talk about the horse
right now. Let's talk about the man that everybody came here to see.
Yeah.
His name is Breece Hall, running back out of Iowa State. In the show description, I said, okay, which player melted faces and which player melted down? I would say Brees
Yeah.
Hall came out and absolutely melted faces. The man, he did what we wanted him to do. Okay, so he weighed
Sure
in
did.
at 217 pounds. He's 5'11". He's got massive hands at 9 3/4 inches, 3/4 inches. Excuse me. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash, which gave him a speed score of 116.9, which, like I said, is a 98th percentile. So he checks pretty much every single box.
Yeah.
And okay, and here's the thing, right? Like, I definitely defer more to the data. You know, I think the way my brain works is that, like, that's how I go towards. But I also like the tape. Brandon's like a tape guy. Mike's like a data guy. I like to be somewhere in the middle. Okay. Even in the underwear Olympics, when you're comparing Brees Hall's footwork, catching ability, smoothness with the ball, he's clearly different than some of these other players. Like, he just looks better. And look, I mean, for me, we talk about it. Like, can you make an argument in Superflex leagues for Malik Willis as the 101? Yeah, you can make an argument for it. But as far as I'm concerned, there's such depth at the wide receiver position this year. I'm probably going to pass on Treylon Burks at the 101.
Yep.
And I'm going to probably pick up Brees Hall. I know I'm taking Brees Hall as of today. I'm taking Brees Hall 101. So, Brandon,
I think you're right.
Why I'm really wrong. Yeah.
You're right. I think you're right. Like, when you see a prospect show you elite athleticism like that, and he checks all the production boxes, and you're comfortable with the way he runs and how he catches, like, that's when you move and book him as the 101. Like, he has to be that guy. Like, you're not going to overlook him just because of you liked a certain player before the combine.
Yeah.
Like, this guy blew up every single number. Like, he had a 40-inch vert, man. Like, he was the only one to hit that, like, in the RBs. And that just tells you everything you need to know about the guy. The lower half is explosive. And, you know, like, he's a mix of JT and Antonio Gibson. Like, he really is a mix. And he's the 101, and it's not going to be anybody else for me for a while. I'm not comfortable taking these quarterbacks. I've been saying this, the quarterbacks, it's a trap. Like, at 101, don't do that. Like, it's a trap. Like, Star Wars, like, don't do it.
So,
and
I figured out what I need to do is I need to get that GIF on here so that every time we start talking about the quarterbacks,
it's a trap
for the next 3 months. It's a trap.
It is, dude. Like, honestly, but I mean, my little tiny hand dude, my friend, threw the ball real well, man. Everybody loved him. Like, there was nobody that talked shit about how he threw the ball at all. And he was the most accurate guy there. Yeah, Kenny Pickett. You know, Donald Trump's buddy. Like, small hands, bro. Like, it's just the poor guy. It's not his fault. God screwed him. It's not his fault, but he throws the ball well. Like, it's just what it is. But with Brees Hall, 100% 101. Lock it in. Just don't even think about it. Just go 101 Brees Hall. Like, it's just I got 101. I'm going to take Brees Hall, and I'm going to be very happy about it.
You know who surprised me in a good way? I mean, we knew who was fast, but I wasn't sure. Like, is this guy really that fast? You know who's faster than Brees Hall? Your guy, Kenneth Walker, ran a 4.38, and he's got a 114.7 speed score because he's a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
I was impressed, man. I was impressed.
Thank you. He is J.K. Dobbins, boys. He is literally every single metric he has, it's J.K. Dobbins. He's literally right. He's the same carbon copy. And if you like J.K. Dobbins, you're going to love yourself some Kenneth Walker. Actually, he hates being called Kenneth. He wants to be called Ken. He wants to be called Ken. I saw on a Ken Walker. That's what he wants to be called. I saw it in an interview. So that's what I'm going to start calling him, Ken Walker. The third is he's pushing up boards for everybody. Like, I was pre-combine, I was seeing him going at the 108, 107, 109. He is not going to make it past 105, boys. Like, he is not. Like, it's just not going to happen anymore. There's a real drought with running backs in this class, and I think there's a couple guys, you know, late, like fourth or fifth RBs that are interesting, but these top two guys are it, really, for me. Isaiah Spiller has red flags for me. I've been saying it for a while. The guy runs with a trailer hitch on his back, you know, like, he's dragging something with him the whole time. And I could just see it on film. And that's why I don't care. He did not have a muscle issue. He just didn't want to run there. He just didn't want to run there. He wants the home cooking, and that's at his pro day, and that's it. Like, I get it, man. When you got guys running below 4.4, that you're going against for the RB1 and you're running a 4.6, it's a problem. And that can be viewed as a big problem. So I think that's what he's going to run, is around a 4.6. And, that's still good. It's still good for his height, weight, and speed. Like, it's still very good. It's just not elite like Ken Walker and Breece Hall. So I think Isaiah Spiller is the one that is kind of been the loser of this combine. He's kind of lost some steam. Yeah, just by not participating. Exactly. And it's like the opposite for Drake London, though. Like, he rose because he didn't do shit. And then Isaiah Spiller, everybody's trying to, like, you're hiding, like, you're hiding. Don't do that. And,
we appreciate you, Mike. Mike said, oh, that's the wrong one. We got Mike saying that the Flex Network's rising up draft board. That's right, Mike. Yeah. That's right. Okay, so a player that really disappointed me, and maybe I'll have you comment on this, Mike, was Kyron Williams, man. Oh, he came in small. He's 5'9", 194. We said it. We really, like, we're not surprised by that weight, because I think his college weight was 195. But we really wanted him to come in around 200, just bulk up a little bit. We figured, okay, maybe after we got the weight, maybe he's staying slim to run the 40. And then he puts up a 4.65, which comes out to a speed score of 83. It's just abysmal. Like, look, I mean, we know the man. You look at the tape. You don't want it to hurt his tape like all that much. But I think, again, what worries me about this is that now he's going to be like a fourth round pick, which it's not a death sentence, right? Michael Carter was drafted in the fourth round, and that's who I would really, that's who I see when I watch this guy. But Kyron Williams, to me, man, he was my RB4 in this class. Now
where is he?
I haven't re-ranked it yet. I mean, I'm not going to re-rank now until draft day, because I don't want combine results to skew my previous
honestly
my tape, right?
I don't want to hear that. Like, honestly, this does matter. It does matter.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it really does. I'm kind of over guys saying that in fantasy, like, oh, you can't take bad times. Hell no. Yeah, you can. Like, you can definitely use that as a red flag and say, you know what? Kyron Williams was ranked as an RB3 in this class by most people. He won't even make it RB8 or RB4 by most people. And he won't even be RB8, or he'll be RB10. Like, that's how far he's going to drop because of all those numbers he just put out.
Here's why I think the combine matters, and here's why I take it into account. So these guys have known since they were 5 years old that this is what they want to do. And they know that how they perform here is the gateway to getting them everything that they want, everything they've hoped for, everything they've dreamed of, life-changing money, generational wealth. And to go out there and, to run like you got oatmeal in your pants is just
like Jeff Wilson.
Like Jeff Wilson, Mr. the OG oatmeal pants, the 101 of oatmeal pants. Yeah. But to go out there and to do that, so if there's a medical, it would have popped on the medical. But, like, just to say,
he was healthy.
Like, I just had a bad day. You can't have a bad day on the biggest job interview of your life. I mean, you can, but then you leave it to real NFL drafters to reconcile. So say he goes out and he runs a 4.4, a 4.48, 4.49, gets below that 4.5 that he needs to get under. Then you leave it to draft guys to reconcile. Be like, all right, well, did he just blow off the combine, or was there something else? Was it a new pair of shoes? Was the track not right? And then, like, well,
was he nervous? What?
Yeah, but if that knocked him off it on the biggest day of his life to date, then maybe we're not taking a shot on him. He's going to plummet down draft boards. He's not going to.
I'm telling you, he's going to plummet. He's going to plummet.
It happens. Yeah. It happens. It matters. Maybe it matters more than it should. I think in his mind, if there was any doubt that he was going to run like that, he has to go in there with an understanding of what he's going to run, and knowing what
he looked really disappointed. He looked really disappointed. I think his coaches were helping him out on those hand times, and didn't realize that he was actually a 4.6 guy. Like, I bet he was running low 4.5s at school, and he thought he was okay. And it's just, dude, when you're that size, you can't be that slow. I'm sorry. Like, it's either or. You're either short and small and you're an elite speed guy, or I'm not drafting you. You got to be dominant in some aspect if you're a small guy. You got to.
Okay, so here's my one thing that I will mention. Okay, so Austin Eckler had a 4.48 40-yard dash, so he was not blazing fast either, right? Now, obviously, Austin Eckler was undrafted, right? So maybe that mattered. Kyron Williams is elite at catching the ball. I would argue that he is the best pass catcher of the ball in the running back class this year. So to me, that matters as well. But again, it's about opportunity to get on the field. And I don't want to belabor the point. I agree with you guys. I think this hurt. But the reason I say I don't want to re-rank him yet, maybe I'll take some time, absorb, go back, rewatch some tape. But what I liked about him on tape, and maybe it was just hive speak influencing my decision making, and maybe that's very real, right? But when I watched the tape, but the thing is, these guys typically get buzzed for a reason, right? You're not just propping up some fucking jag, right?
Yeah.
Some just a guy player. You're not doing that unless there's something about this guy, right? So
I had him at 4. You know, like it's not like I hate the guy.
I did too. Yeah. See, I had Jerome Ford above him for a little while. Again, Jerome Ford, Tyler Algier, Rashad White, like these are guys, man. It's such a major cluster. And then the thing is that if you're checking boxes, right? You think about, again, we want running backs in particular. You want running backs that are going to get drafted high. Why? Because then you're going to get an opportunity on the field. There's only one guy on the field that's going to touch the ball at the running back position. If you're drafted high, teams are more likely going to let you be that guy. So if Tyler Algier or Jerome Ford or any of these guys go on day 2, so round 2, round 3, immediately I'm going to prop them up higher than a guy like Kyron Williams. That's just going to happen. But if Kyron somehow sneaks into round 3, like end of round 3, it's a different discussion, I think.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, I mean, it's the draft capital is a real thing. Like it's that's why these rankings are so fluid right now. Like honestly, until you see situation and until you see the investment put in these guys, it's really hard to lock down these ranks. But for me, I was super worried about him, and all things I was worried about were confirmed. And it just sucks. He was too small and too slow. And it's a bummer.
We're going to be here for hours and hours and hours. Like right now, it's just a very high level initial impressions on these players. We're going to have the next 4 or 5 months to talk about these players.
Exactly.
But one guy I do want to talk about that I feel like I'm lower than consensus on. I got not so much roasted, but I was criticized for taking Sky Moore over this guy in the mock draft, the Roster Watch versus Roto Underworld mock draft. And it's Brian Robinson, running back out of Alabama. He had a 4.53 40-yard dash. He had a 30-inch vertical, 119-inch broad jump. Like, to me, this is like the definition of just a guy. Like, just because he's on Alabama, is he really going to be that much better? Like, do you see teams going and drafting this guy in round 2, round 3? Like, I just don't see it. Like, there's such better talent out there. What am I missing with Brian Robinson, guys?
Nothing. You're right.
You're missing anything.
you're getting no argument from me, man. Like, there's a reason.
He's Jordan Howard.
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan Howard. Exactly.
He's Jordan Howard. That is such a good comp for him. He really is. Like, that's exactly who he is. If Jordan Howard was a coach's pet kind of guy, if he gets in that kind of situation because people love him as a guy, like he can be productive. But like if a coach doesn't like take a liking to him, he's a jag, man. He can just be any guy that's a backup that can fill in for here and there and get 5 or 6 touches to bit, and that's about it. And that I think he's old. He's an old prospect for the running back position coming out anyways. And he confirmed everything I thought about him. He's just an average running back, really is.
Like he's fine.
Yeah.
He's not exciting. He's just
fine.
23. He's fine.
I would rather take upside plays in the second round with wide receivers, like if that's, he's probably going to go at the end, like beginning of 3rd round now, Brian Robinson, like that. I would still take some flyer wide receivers over him, most likely.
Okay. Let's pivot to the wide receiver position because I think that's a good segue here. Okay. So first and foremost, again, I mean, I think Treylon Burks is still the definitive 101, or not 101, but the number 1 wide receiver in this class. Any arguments there? He didn't quite test as much as well as we'd hoped, but Mike, I think you measured it. Like he checked the box, and we were happy.
He checked boxes. That's it. Yeah, that was that we were talking on the group chat, and that was my initial thing. I said All he's doing is checking boxes, and
Yeah.
for his height, weight, and speed, he's completely fine. He's a little shorter than I was thinking. I thought he was 6'3" and some change. He's a little shorter than I thought. I think he reminds me of a DeAndre Hopkins type guy. You know, like he's kind of like that, a big body kind of guy that can just out muscle people and explode for the ball and separate in the air. Route running is there. Once he gets at the pro level, he can refine that more as he gets his role defined. In college, he was all over the place because they didn't have anybody else on that team to give it to. So he was playing every position possible. So he's a very versatile guy. Like some people were saying though, when he ran that 4.55, everybody, I was hoping he was going to run below 4.5. I was praying it was going to be a high 4.4. That's what I really wanted him to run. But he didn't. And he actually, when he came in there and he was in his spandex, man, you can tell the guys that actually put a lot of work in the weight room. Yeah. And you could just see that he's that natural athlete that I don't know if he's working that hard in the weight room. Just by his build, when the pads are off, but I think he can work on that. And I think he'll become more of a pro later, and he'll probably get faster as a pro.
Okay, Mike, I got a question for you from Mr. Yeager in the chat here. Do you think it's a mistake and hurts the guy's draft capital if they only do the pro day workout and not show at the combine? Mike?
Yeah, I kind of think it is. I think you have to show at least something at the combine, just so you can frame yourself relative to everybody else. Like, it's a slow track at the combine. You're not going to run as quick there as you run it at your pro day. That's fine. Just be quicker than everybody else, or jump out of the gym. Show your 41-inch vertical. I think you have to do something. Now I know that some guys will say they have injury issues, or they have an aggravated back, or a hamstring, or a hangnail, or a hammer toe, or whatever. And that's fine. Some guys go there just for the interview and for the physical, and I get that, but I think you got to do something.
You got to do something, dude. Always compete. If you're an athlete, always compete, man. Do something. Like I give up so much respect for guys that lay it on the line when it's time, dude. Like that means you ain't afraid of the moment. Like it really means that. Like when I saw Isaiah Spiller not participating, and the announcers are saying, "What is going on here? Why isn't he running?" And they were he didn't tell anybody that he wasn't running. He just didn't show up for the run. Like it was he made it feel like he was going to run, and then he just decided not to. I think once he saw his terrible vert, like his vert was not good enough for being a top tier running back. I think he got nervous and he didn't want to run, and he just did drills. And even in the drills, he looked heavy footed. Like he was tripping on the bags here and there. There's some red flags with him, and I'm very nervous about that guy. But I mean, he has production, he has talent. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're exaggerating a little bit too much for Isaiah Spiller specifically. I mean, man, if you have a core muscle and it's fucking sore, your entire body gets shut down.
I understand. Then you say that from the beginning, and you don't do anything. Yeah. You don't do anything. He went and did the vert. He did the vert. He did the broad jump. Like
here's the thing, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, okay, Brandon? So you're giving the guy shit for not performing well, but on the other hand, you said you love guys that go and want to compete. So don't you give him at least a little bit of credit for the fact that he had that core issue, that ab issue?
If he had it,
I mean,
I honestly don't know if he did. I don't know. It really is tough to say that, and. If he was trying to play hurt, then I get it. Like I got it. But man, if I'm his agent and I know he's got a core issue, he doesn't do a goddamn thing. You don't do a goddamn thing.
Justin Ross, the only event that Justin Ross performed in was the bench press, which is interesting. Yeah. And here's something that's interesting as well, is that I was listening just on Moving the Chains, and they were talking about how the reason that especially wide receivers and a lot of these guys aren't doing the bench press is because the next day they're sore, right? Because they're pretty much maxing out their weight and their reps. So the next day they're sore, which is going to impact their on-field drills. Like, what is the NFL doing? Like that makes obvious sense. Like we've all been at the gym. I mean, those who wouldn't believe
They
it
all
actually do go to
that
the
was
gym.
that was a big talk. There was big talk
Yeah.
about that. It sounds like they're gonna get. It sounds like they might get rid of bench
They just got to
completely.
Who cares, man?
They
For
don't-
certain positions, sure. Like
Especially
linemen,
like only the
absolutely.
trenches. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
the trench guys,
exactly.
that's fine. But like, dude, skill guys don't need to be throwing around 225 30 times. Like that doesn't need to be happening.
Yeah,
Like it's a joke to do that. Even though Rondell Moore did it crazy.
Yeah.
So you know it's a joke. The day that the punter put up 38, the day that the punter put up 38, they should have just gotten rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, okay, this is stupid.
It's time. It's time.
As a career specialist, it gave me a lot of satisfaction, but there's no need for it.
What I want to hear from you is, what about your guy Sky Moore, man?
Ooh,
that guy. Talk a little bit about your guy Sky, because he lit up the combine and was the talk of the combine, and even in interviews.
Yes. So Sky Moore, look, I guess he's just a different cat. Like this is the side of things. Like that's why you go and you follow services that we trust. Like Cody Carpentier of Roto Underworld was there with the Roster Watch guys, and so like they go and they do these interviews. They're at the podiums earlier in the week, and so you kind of get to understand the character of these players. Sky Moore, man, the more and more I'm learning about this guy, the more I just learned to love him. So wide receiver out of Western Michigan. He's still young. He's only 21 and a half years old. He weighed in at 195 pounds. He's 5'10". He ran a 4.41 40-yard dash, which gave him a speed score of 98.9, which, you know, again, for his size, it's
That's
about
good.
a 60th percentile, right? But he's still quick. The thing is that his, let's see here, 20-yard shuttle was 4.32, his agility score of 11.45. Overall, his broad jump was 125, which is roughly about 10 feet. Big catch radius, 9.81 for his size, which I love. And he had a 34.5-inch vertical jump. So overall, Sky Moore impressed me. He's exactly who I thought he was. I think he's going to be a very good slot wide receiver in the league with the ability to play on the outside. And the more and more I think about it, okay.
You know who he is.
Who is he?
Elijah Moore, man. Like he's our Elijah Moore.
I think he's in terms of like the flag planting guy, yeah, he's our Elijah Moore of this year. I can't quite put him because he's not as athletic as Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore, man, was an absolute freak. Okay,
freaky.
Think about a guy like Sky Moore, man. If he goes to the right team that's going to use him, like if these Cole Beasley trade rumors are true, don't go out and sign fucking Christian Kirk, Buffalo. Don't pay $13 million. Go and draft Sky Moore at the end of the third round because he's probably going to be there. And man, you got your slot receiver for the next 5-6 years at least, right? Like that's what I think. That's like perfect outcome for me. He's got the talent. He's going to be there. The problem is there's so many good slot wide receivers in the draft. Like Chris Olave, man.
God damn it. Let's talk about him, man. Talk about him. He looked good. He looked good, man.
Wait, is Sky Moore Deontay Johnson?
Sky Moore's more like Deontay Johnson to me. Yeah, he's a little bit heavier than Deontay.
I think he's a little bit rowdier than Deontay. I think he has a little bit of. I think he's got a little bit of Steve Smith in him, dude. Like he's got some.
Yeah,
he's got some oomph behind him.
Sky Moore's
I like
195. Him. Like Sky Moore's got some weight to him. Let me just pull up.
He's thick, bro. He was a DB. I'm telling you, that DB body, man. Like his weight, he carries his weight well. Like he's thick, he runs hard, and I think he's
183.
Super intelligent.
Sorry, Deontay Johnson's
183.
You're good. So he's got 12
so he's
pounds.
Thick, dude.
Yeah, he's
exactly
thicker than Deontay.
Yes.
But that's like that agility, that those reliable hands. We talked about it on the wide receiver show. Man, yeah, he's going to be very good. Chris Olave, though, man, to me,
that's Deontay Johnson.
Got my wife Tara chiming in here. Thick. That's right. We like our wide receivers thick, baby. That's right.
That's the only way I like my women. Thick.
Our women and our wide receivers. That's right.
Women and wide receivers, give me that thickness.
Oh boy, this is going off the
rails. All right.
Real quick. Okay.
But anyways.
Chris Olave, though. Okay.
This is what happens on a Sunday. We're off the rails.
I know, man. Like, good Lord. Chris Olave, he ran a 4.39 40-yard dash, which gave him a speed score of 99.3, which is very impressive. He had 100. I keep getting thrown off because the broad jumps numbers that I have in here are inches, so I have to convert it to feet. But it's 124 inches, which is roughly 10 and what, 3 or and a quarter feet. Yeah. So solid broad jump. Like he looks good, man. He just keeps checking all the damn boxes. We talk about
Bro.
the best probably slot wide receiver in his classes. It's Chris Olave, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you actually listen to Michael Irvin and stuff when they're watching, Chris Olave was catching eyes, man. Everybody was talking to him. They're like, this kid is like Steve Smith. Steve Smith Jr. was on the call, and he was saying, he was like, I was expecting him because he ran that time. He was like, but when you watch him run routes, like he's controlled. He's a pro. Like he's like he can throttle down when it's appropriate. Like a lot of these young guys, when they're fast, they get to a certain point too quick. They need to allow things to develop, and that is something that Olave already has. From what Steve Smith is already saying, he's like, this kid has the timing, has the ability to throttle down and change gears, and that tells you everything you need to know. Like that's a mass. Like I like him. He's moving up my board a little bit.
What creates separation? Because that's what you want in a wide receiver, somebody who can create separation. It's change of speed and change of direction, right?
Yeah,
it's that ability. So we look at the 40-yard dash, and it's fun, it's sexy, it's like it's the best event of the combine. But what does it really mean? Well, okay, yeah, it means these guys are quick. But is Velus Jones somebody that we're really going to go out and run and want to be drafted just because he was quick? Not really, right? Bo Melton, impress. He's a guy that we like.
Hey,
he's moving up draft boards, but Bo Melton's going to have day 3 draft. Right? Bo Melton's not being drafted in day 2. Okay,
I like him.
Yeah, I like Bo too.
He's built.
Brandon, you're taking away my damn point. You're gonna make me tilted here. I think the point is a player like, see, look at this. My screen just blurred out. I was too tilted.
What happened?
There you go.
There you are. Baby. We got you back. You're good, man. Good.
The thing about Chris Olave, and man, okay, PFF, I love your data, but how is Garrett Wilson not one of your top? Like, he's not in your top 5 of wide receivers. Like, what are you doing? And to me, like, Garrett Wilson, holy crap. You talk about good. Smoothness in the drills. He looked the smoothest in the drill. And like, I guess based on the fact that, the Ohio people were all there, they're nearby, right? So he was getting cheers every time he was touching the ball, but he looked good, man. So Garrett Wilson to me is who I thought he was. The problem with, like, where am I going to rank with Chris Olave relative to, say, like Jameson Williams? That one's going to be really hard.
That's a big, I like that.
JMO's still hurt, so he didn't test. So am I gonna put him? Probably not. I probably still have JMO right.
He's lighter than Olave. Olave, what did Olave weigh in at?
Olave weighed in at 187 pounds.
See, he's 10 pounds heavier than Jameson.
Yeah,
like that JMO is like 175 or
179. He weighed, that was disappointing. JMO weighed in at 179. That gave me some pause for sure, man.
Yeah. I was watching a video of him. He looks skinny. Like, but I mean, you got to give him a rest though, because he's coming off ACL reconstruction surgery, so he's probably not in the gym like he would be when he's in the season. He's probably more they're doing things for the knee, and he's just not built up for football just yet. But like, still, like, not breaking 180 when you're not walking around at 180. That's something to raise your eyebrows a little bit.
Yeah.
So I currently think I put Olave right ahead of JMO.
Yeah. Okay. So Clip's been talking about Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle. He ran a 4.78 second 40-yard dash.
Stupid.
340 pounds. We got to talk about this guy just because it's absolutely disgusting. Just how
it's like a bear running at you, dude. That's like a bear.
I know.
That's literally a bear up on his hind legs running at you and just hitting 19 miles an hour. Like, just it's fucking insane, dude. Like,
because I'll admit, look, I'll be the first to admit that I watch the running backs, I watch the tight ends, I watch the quarterbacks, and I watch the wide receivers. And I don't watch the linemen. I will admit it. I don't do it. I'm sorry, but look, that tape was all over Twitter, so I was watching.
Yeah, I didn't watch it,
and it was pretty damn sick, man. So
I went and watched Batman instead. Screw it.
Hey, pivot for a second. All right, Brandon. And this was actually going to be one of my first questions of the show today. Real question. Just no spoilers. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're rating The Batman. What would you give it out of 10?
8.8.
Whoa.
I think
8.8.
8.8.
I like that.
Because I think
high praise.
It's a phenomenal movie. Like, it's just phenomenal. It's gritty. It's something you don't expect from a comic book movie. It's exactly what we've been screaming we wanted as nerds. We wanted some dark. We wanted dark. We wanted gritty. We wanted, just disturbing in a way. There's some disturbing moments in that movie.
I like that.
And it hits you right in the face right away. Like, it's not a joke. It doesn't mess around at all. And it's 3 hours and you don't even understand and you're entertained the whole time. But I suggest find yourself a theater with those lazy boy chairs. That's where you go watch that kind of movie. Because if you're uncomfortable, any 3-hour movie, you're going to get upset. Because especially when you got kids, I had a 10-year-old and she was starting to move around and I'm sitting there just loving it. And she's just like, this is really long. But the movie's awesome. It was well worth the wait. The Batmobile is the sickest thing ever. It's honestly possible to make it. It's not some bullshit Hollywood kind of vehicle. You could probably make that thing.
That's cool. That's cool.
You'll see you'll see some billionaire remake it. Watch.
I had a rant yesterday. My wife was asking me, she's like, Shane, you're the weirdest nerd ever. I'm like, why? She's like, because you love Marvel, but you hate DC. I'm like, I don't hate DC.
I hate DC too.
Just give me something to cheer for, DC. Just give me something to cheer for. Justice League was not something to cheer for. Aquaman was not something to cheer for.
Garbage.
All the Superman movies, trash, right?
Yep.
What do I like? I liked the Christian Bale movies, but honestly, even the third one was meh at best, right? Which is disappointing. But the fact that you're telling me that the Batman is something to cheer for, that makes me damn happy, man.
Bro, okay. I'm telling you, it's exciting. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. The hero we want or the hero we need? Brandon, make a case. Just make a case, make an argument why Malik Willis, after this week at the Combine, is in the discussion for the 101 in Superflex drafts.
Wait, real quick. Did you see the Zack Snyder Justice League?
I did.
Yes.
And it was way better than the original.
It was so much better.
So much better. So much better, but still not good.
It was 4 hours, man. It was just it was long.
I literally had to break it in 2 days, dude. 2 days.
I watched it over a week.
I can't sit for that long. I'm an ADHD ferret, dude. I need to be moving around. That's insane, dude, to do that. But Mike, okay, we'll talk a little. Malik Willis, I think what makes you feel good about him is just the hype from everybody that spoke to him. When they actually talk to the guy, how the kind of man he is. From what is coming out of the Combine, the guy is straight up. He's a leader. He's an alpha. When he's walking around, people are following, and people listen. What jumped off the page to me was arm strength popped. That popped big time. Deep shots, but I mean, he was inaccurate in a little bit of the drills, but you could just see it. That's only because of footwork and rhythm. And it's different when you're doing drills and there's nothing in front of you. When you're not feeling the defense coming at or your O-line around you and all that stuff. It's just different. But, I just think he has the elite arm strength and he needs to fall to the right offense. If he falls to the right offense, if he goes to the Steelers, if he goes to where he can throw deep downfield to guys like Chase Claypool and have Freiermuth down the deep seams, that's money. But if he's going to Washington or if he's going to Carolina, I'm not as happy about it.
Dude, I like Ron Rivera as a coach. I think
I do too. I like him as a coach, but I just think his personnel isn't what will set Malik up for success. But some of these guys were talking Russell Wilson vibes when they were watching him throw the football. They were saying Russell Wilson vibes. So
I was listening to again, Moving to Change. It's my show I listen to pretty much every day. It's fantastic. For those who have Sirius, you have to listen to it if you like the NFL because you just learn the X's and O's of it. And Jim Miller, who's the quarterback, he was screaming in his microphone that he sees Russell Wilson potential with Malik Willis. And I love that, man. It's
a good comp.
That deep ball is impressive. It looks
it jumps.
And it's accurate, man.
The guy that really he outthrew dudes that were running 4.35, man.
Yeah,
he was outthrowing them.
It was pretty sick, man. I mean, look, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that can throw it really damn far but aren't very good. You need touch on the ball. You need both.
Touch.
And I'm not look. There's still a conversation about if any of these quarterbacks have top 10 real NFL draft talent. I don't know, man. It's still that one's still up for debate. Time is at this point. Time's going to tell, right?
I think it's going to get. I think there will be. I think there will be one. I think they're going to get. Somebody's going to push up. Somebody's going to go all in on their prospect. Somebody's going to do it. Yeah. It happens every year. I mean, EJ Manuel made top 15. Come on, come on. We've got to think about this. Like people push anybody up. Like, but Malik Willis, man, the guy was thick. He was built. He's exactly. If you're going to be an undersized mobile guy, you better be thick and you better be strong. And he was all those things.
And character. He's got the character.
And he's got unbelievable character. I mean, it hit all the internet. Like, he was helping a homeless man out, giving away stuff that he got for free. Like, he was getting all these perk bags from Nike and shit. He handed out to some homeless guy. And that was awesome. Nobody knew.
All the cynics out there were saying that it was staged. But it's like, the guy's still doing it.
Hey, man. If that was staged, that means he's got some.
But who cares? He's still giving away this shit to homeless people. So at the end of the day, it's still benefiting this person. So
100%.
Okay, I'm gonna put my seatbelt on. If I had a helmet, I'd put my helmet on. Mike, this is directly for you.
Great.
You're still on Desmond Ridder. Tell me, are you impressed? Are you up? Are you down? Where are you at?
He's actually
Toxic Nix is saying hello. What's going on? Toxic Nix. Hopefully you're not too toxic.
I mean,
Desmond Ridder, brother.
I think I'm higher on Desmond Ridder than either one of you two. I'm probably a little higher than the rest of the field. So nothing I saw really knocked me off that. Word on the street was that he did well. He did well in interviews. He was good between the ears. He ran really quickly. That mobility was something that he displayed that his sophomore and junior season, but he kind of tailed off his senior season just because he was the only year that he threw for over 3,200 yards. The other 2 years, his sophomore and junior, he ran for over 7 because he threw for less than 3. You talk about winning, and he was the thing that stands out to me. There's 2 things. One, he didn't get as far as he wanted to his junior season. They got right to the precipice of getting into that, the top 4, getting into a bowl game and pushing for a national title. He said, I want to come back. I want to do this. I want to take my team to the promised land. So between his junior and senior season, he hooked up with somebody named Jordan Palmer. If you don't know, he is the younger brother of Carson Palmer. He's a guru. He's the one that fixed Josh Allen. He's kind of he's one of 3 guys that, So I'm not saying Desmond Ridder is Josh Allen. I'm saying from a mechanics standpoint, and this is the other thing that I like, is the self-awareness to say, hey, my mechanics aren't where they should be. I'm going to go and work with somebody who's known for fixing people. So he went back. His PFF passing grade jumped up almost 25 points, well over 90. And then he took his team into the playoffs. So he won his junior year, said, I'm going to come back and win my senior year, and came back and won. And quite honestly, with a team, Cincinnati, they're not, I don't know if they're in Power 5 now with how they've realigned, but it's tough to take those guys there to do it consistently. So I like what I've seen about him. He's slight. He's 6'4", 210, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
6'3", 211.
But if he puts on 15 pounds, 6'3", 225, that, and he's got the mechanics, he's got the leadership, he's got the processing speed. Give me that guy, especially if everything else checks out. He's got decent sized hands, so that's not an issue.
10 inches, baby. 10 inches.
But
everybody likes 10.
I was told that 3 was fine, but I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, everything checks out, and everything, again, like with Treylon Burks, everything checked out as it needed to check out. So I'm no lower on him than I was before, which means I'm higher than everybody else.
Right. And I mean, you guys don't understand. This guy has been blasting Ridder posts in our group chat every single day. And he's I mean, there's some things that he said on the Twitter or on this chat that I don't want to repeat, because it's just that far out there, and I don't want anybody to judge him for that. But
if people don't judge me now, they're not going to judge me. So Ridder,
go ahead. I hope you're right though. I hope he does go to the Lions. That would be actually all right. I would actually kind of like that, and that actually is a good fit.
I think in general, the thing about the quarterback position is it's by far one of the hardest positions to scout, right? Because
Yep.
there's the talent, there's a lot of talented quarterbacks out there that don't make it in the league because of what it's between the ears, right? It's
Right.
how these guys process. It's the type of character that these players are, and I don't know, man. Like I like Desmond Ritter as a dude, man. He's somebody that I want to cheer for. I just don't know if he's got the skills to be starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, is he?
But can we just say, since we're talking quarterbacks, can we just say Pickett looked good? Like
Pickett looked good.
Pickett was accurate as fuck, man. Like if you actually look at his every time a wide receiver caught something, they were on the run. They didn't even have to turn their body; they just snatched it. Like it was right there. The only time I saw something that was a little weird was on the deep balls. Like that's where the arm strength comes in and and the glove, and like you never know. But hey, I will give it to him. He did what he wanted to do. He didn't allow anybody to freaking get in his head and not wear gloves and all this bullshit. Like I give mad respect for that because people were giving him so much crap this whole freaking week. And he just went out there and did his thing, and he looked good. And everybody that I've listened to that are pros said that he threw the best out of everybody. Like the most consistent, he threw the best. It wasn't even close for that. But where you can see like the difference between Willis and him, man, anything beyond 15 yards and out, Willis's ball just gets there. It just gets there. Like the way Pickett's, that's different.
Would you hate Pickett to Carolina?
No, that's actually okay. DJ Moore would be great for him. I think DJ Moore would be great for him. I think Christian McCaffrey would be great for him because he could just dump off balls to him and get yak. And that's what I've been saying about him. He's that whoever his wide receivers are, they're going to love him because he's going to put the ball in position to where you can run and your yak numbers are going to just be monstrous because he is that accurate. He puts it on the freaking on right where you need it to go so you can keep moving. And that is the difference between a pro quarterback and just a college quarterback that can just throw hard. That's where his touch was evident when he was throwing the ball. That's all I'm going to say.
Here's the question. Carolina Panthers have the 6th overall pick in the draft this year.
They can trade back.
If they could trade back,
then
and go and maybe get an extra second rounder or get a first next year and then go and get Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett, I think those would, to me, Malik Willis is more the mold of what Carolina would want. But I like Kenny Pickett there. I do. I just they want that mobile quarterback in Carolina.
And also Kenny Pickett ran pretty good for being 6'3".
Kenny Pickett can move. I think Malik Willis makes a lot of sense. To me, I see a slightly smaller Cam Newton. So for that reason, he makes sense to Washington because the Washington staff had Cam Newton, developed Cam Newton, and won with Cam Newton. So that makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. And I think they're going to actually sign Amari Cooper. And if they sign Amari Cooper like they wanted to 2 years ago, and they bring in
Washington will?
Yes. I think Washington's going to make a huge push for Cooper. They supposedly before he signed with the Cowboys, they were the ones that went all in on him and was going to give him whatever number he wanted, and he chose the Cowboys. So if he's going to leave and if he's going to get released, I can see Washington being that team.
If you're Amari Cooper, he's due at $20 million this year. If you're Amari Cooper and the Cowboys come to you and say, look, Amari, we want you on the team, but we need you to take a pay cut to $14 million. Because again, if we're talking about Christian Kirk's going to make 13, Amari Cooper's way better than Christian Kirk, right?
I say hell no if I'm Amari.
No, but the thing is, if he goes on the open market, how much is he going to demand? 14,
15, 16? Yeah.
15, 16?
Yeah, 15. Yeah, 15 million. He's a wide receiver one, man. Like he's a legitimate wide receiver one. I think he rubbed Jerry Jones the wrong way with the whole not getting vaccinated thing. That was a big deal behind the scenes with Jerry Jones. He was very pissed off about that. And that he missed time because of COVID and because of his ankle again. And what's coming out of Dallas is go buy CeeDee Lamb before it's too late. Go buy CeeDee Lamb before it's too late.
It's already
I know.
too late,
I know, but some people don't believe that Amari is going to get cut. So if you can find some stooge out there that's going to give you Lamb, like I would go trade T. Higgins straight up for CeeDee Lamb right now. That's what I would do right now.
The CeeDee Lamb.
Do CeeDee Lamb and T Higgins have been back to back in most rankings. They are like right next to each other.
Yeah.
Right next to each other.
I mean, if you could pull it off, I'd take CD over T for sure.
100%.
I'd be shocked.
Some people were so angry at CD over this last year, and it's just funny. Like people are low on him. This is the lowest you're going to get him. Right there. That's what I'm saying. What the fuck are you talking about? Like that's just crazy. Like that's just nonsense, man. That's nonsense. Man. I just don't. I get what. Get your guy then, bud. Get your guy. We can have a bet, man. We can have a bet. We can. Okay. I'll give you 3 years of production for Gallup versus 2 years with the next 2 years with Lamb out win. Like Lamb is about to get like 12 freaking targets a game. Like he is going to
give Gallup credit.
Gallup's a stud too.
Dude's always hurt, unfortunately, right? Like whether he's always hurt. To be hurt, he's been always hurt. Look. We've been going 55 minutes. Okay. Yeah. We're going to end the show shortly here. Brandon, I'm going to give you one last take, and Mike as well. I'm going to give you guys each one last take of a player that either impressed or didn't impress of any position. A guy that you're higher on, lower on, or just somebody you want to talk about. Mike, I'm going to go to you first. I'm putting you on the spot. Name one guy that you want to talk about before we close the show.
Yeah, I've been talking about him a little bit. Brandon mentioned him earlier. Rachaad White. I think that his skill set translates well into what the NFL is looking to do. So, you see Mike McDaniel, and it's Mike McDaniel and Josh McDaniels, correct? This is very confusing. All these little Irishmen running around coaching football teams.
That's right.
You see what Mike McDaniel said about Jalen Waddle, and I'm not saying Rachaad White is Jalen Waddle, but the guys that he wants to get the ball in their hands, whether it's out of the backfield or whether it's as a pass catcher. White was 6'2" to 210.
No, he was 6 foot. He was actually came in at 6 foot. Which is great. I didn't want him to be 6'2". I wanted him to be 6 foot. So once you get to that tall as a running back, it's tough.
Yeah, so he's shorter than Cordero Patterson is, so he profiles more as a running back, as a true running back. He's gonna move a lot. If he goes to the right offensive system, he is going to be a huge weapon. And I think that you're gonna see coaches try and find these guys. The Cordero Patterson, I can't believe he's in this. We're mentioning him in
Antonio Gibson. He looks like Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, but like those kind of guys, they can catch, they can run. I actually like White a little bit more as a prospect than Gibson because he has more time in the backfield. I think Brandon, you and I have talked about this. I think part of Gibbons' learning curve has been learning to take the punishment of an NFL running back, and it's hard because he's learning have that many. Yeah, he's learned. I feel better about him this year than I did the last couple of years. But Rachaad White knows how to take the punishment, so he's a guy that I like, that I'm probably going to take above ADP and will hopefully own more of.
Boom. Yeah, no, I love that. Awesome. Clipboard Jesus is putting his money where his mouth is. He's saying, get a hold of him, Brandon. We can do that because we play in some leagues together, and we'll get a humiliation bet on paper.
Dude, let's do it. I'll do that all day. I'll do that all day.
Perfect.
All day.
Fantastic. All right, Brandon, who's the last player you want to talk about to finish it out?
I'm just gonna pound the table one more time for my guy, Ken Walker, man. That guy, I'm just gonna tell you right now, lock it in. He's a top 5 rookie pick. If you don't take him in the top 5, you're insane. Like he is the RB2 to me, solidified. And if you actually watch his drill work at the combine, he was snatching the ball like he's been doing it out of the womb. Like the way he was killing it, bro. Like he was snatching it outside of the frame, on the run. He was adjusting to bad throws. He was doing everything. And I just want to throw out a couple stats about him that people aren't really giving him credit, man. So this guy had the most yards after contact in the NCAA last year with 1,168 yards after contact. After contact. Insane. He had 89 missed tackles. 89 led the whole college football, and he had the best elusive rate by PFF, 147.5. That's out of 150. He had the second most rushing yards. He weighed in bigger than everybody thought. Okay, everybody thought he was going to weigh in at 205, 200 maybe. He came in at 211 and still ran a 4.38. That is something that is elite and something I'm going to put my feather in, and he is J.K. Dobbins, and I'm going to say that to the grave. And this guy I'm excited about him. People were way too low on him prior to the combine, and people are catching up now.
I love that. We weren't too low on him. We've always loved Ken Walker here at the Flex Network.
Ken,
look,
Walker.
I'm going to talk about Ken Walker. I'm going to talk about a guy real quick that didn't even test. It's just a player that I'm excited to have on my team as a New England Patriots fan, and that's John Mechie. He's getting a lot of talk about being drafted by the Patriots. So that's it. That was one of my highlights coming out of the combine week was just conversations about getting Mechie back to his college quarterback. That's it. I just pray to God that McDaniels down in Miami drafts Ken Walker.
If he goes to Miami, I think he's going to be a superstar with that coach. I think he's going to make that kid into something real. I'm excited.
That's what Shanahan the backfield up.
I know that's the only thing. Like, yeah, I get you, Mike.
Yeah.
Like that would piss me off. But I think the opportunity's there, and I think the talent is undeniable. And I think he's a great fit for that offense. I think he could help out that offense quite a bit.
The thing about Shanahan was when he finally had a stud running back one in Elijah Mitchell, he used him as a stud running back one. If Ken Walker's going to a team, Ken Walker's going to a team to be the guy. Brandon, how do the good people find you?
Twitter, Brandon D. Adam 19. Check me out. Constantly tweeting about Ken Walker, and it's gonna be unrelenting until draft day. I'm excited. We're finally pushing along this dynasty season. We got some metrics to actually dig into, and now we can fine tune everything and find those other gems in the third, fourth rounds that people are talking about. And I'm going to take you down clipboard, and it's going to be glorious.
Mike,
Twitter, Mike_Dickinson. Come talk. Let's hang out. Let's have a chat.
He's the biggest troll in the world, but he's the nice guy.
I am not.
He's a nice guy in real life.
Oh man. Okay. So of course I'm Flex Shane. You can follow us on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. If you like what you listen to, please hit the like button on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please retweet. Please share. Please do all these things. We're on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. We've been making videos on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're pretty much anywhere you can find us. Spotify. Just tell your friends. Keep listening. Keep sharing the content because we want to grow this family that we call the Flex Network.
Yeah.
So for those who have already listened to us, thank you for listening. Thanks for being here the entire time. And we are just getting started. We're going to be sending out at least one show a week to talk about prospects, to talk about strategy. Next week, we're going to focus on the real NFL, right? We've been talking a lot about prospects.
Free agency.
Free agency is almost here. The league season starts on the 14th of March, which
Tampering
is
starts the 14th.
What's that?
Tampering starts on the 14th.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the real discussions, right? Really, we're going to start on the 14th. So we're going to do a preview show next week for the people to talk about some of the free agents that we're excited about. I mean, maybe there's going to be some movement on the Amari Cooper talks, the Cole Beasley talks, all that fun stuff. So we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. It's March. Football's here. It's 365 days a year, and the Flex Network's going to be here to help you out. So with that, for Brandon, for Mike, I'm Shane, and we are the Flex Network.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.